Hello, all. John here. So, as an 80s kid, my number one car, RC car back then that I wanted was either an RC10 or a Kyosho Javelin. And back then, I couldn't really afford one. My parents weren't willing to invest in one, as the cars that I had, I would pretty much just bash against curbs, jump them off of the highest jumps I could, and then spend time fixing chassis or replacing chassis or arms or whatever, just because I wanted to play with my RC cars. So as I've gotten older, I've been able to pick up some of the Kyosho Legend Series cars. I have the 2014 Scorpion Riri, and then last year I kind of got the bug to finally get the car that I really wanted, which is a Javelin, but Kyosho did not have them in stock. I'm not sure what was going on. I understand they're now coming back into stock finally, so that's a good thing. But I did know that they had the Turbo Optima kit with all the gold parts. So what I did is I bought a Turbo Optima kit and I turned it into a Javelin at the same time. This is one of the easiest conversions that you'll find. So with this, the only real parts you need to convert it to a Javelin are the Javelin cage, the rear wing, and the roll bar. And a couple different things on mine that I did differently is I went with a white cage. You can dye the white cages, I've heard of, with the RIT dye. I also painted, I was going to have them powder coated, but I decided to use just a really strong coat of, I believe it's Rust-Oleum paint from Lowe's. And I did the red accents on the aluminum pieces on the front of the chassis, or the front of the vehicle, and then on the roof, and then I did paint the roll bar just so it'd have a little accent underneath the cage there. But this was an amazing kit. I will just say the Kyosho Legend Series cars and the kits are just a joy to build. And coming from building some Tamiya kits and some other vehicles, some even some of the crawlers like the TRX4 and others. I mean, the Kyosho build process is just an amazing thing. So if you have never done one before, certainly check that out. I would say the Scorpion Riris are a really good one to start with if you're not really into kits. The gearbox comes already pre-assembled, and some things if you want to cut some corners. You can also get by with just painting the body, and you don't really have to do anything to make it your own. It's a really nice kit as well. But with the Javelin, I kind of took the extra mile just to make it my own. I did some of the tire writing. I did the Sharpie paint pens, and it turned out pretty well. Sometimes I have to go back over it, but it's not a really difficult process. But just a little bit of things. I made this a brushless just because I wanted the efficiency. So this has like a 3900 kV. It's a Hobby Star motor combo I got from RC Juice. So giving them a good shout out. They're a good place to buy your RC parts from. I do actually prefer the Optima wheels to the Javelin chrome wheels. You also get the larger, the lower profile nature to those as well, which is I think a nice look. This is not really a heavy runner. I have run it. It's not a shelf queen by any means. I've run it on 2S, and that's completely fine. It's completely powerful. Very smooth drivetrain. I also built this with the belt. So the belt is the only drive line that comes with the Turbo Optima, which I prefer the belt. I know the classic was the chain with the Javelin, but I built it with the belt. These shocks are just amazing. I've built modern shocks before. The Team Associated, the Element RC shocks are great on the crawler trucks, and that's I think the most comparative that I've had in terms of the smoothness. But it just really built well. It's set up well. I have the collars down on here just to help it, because it is heavier in the rear, definitely. I mean, it's a rear biased weight. I mean, there's a lot less weight on the front, so I wanted to preload those a little bit more on the back. I did paint up the driver to like a flat green, and I did the eyes as best I could. Definitely not a pro at painting those. I used a toothpick into the paint. The other nice thing about Turbo Optima kit comes with full sway bars, and it's a nice, really nice kit. And the $59 addition to like the regular Optima or the Javelin is really not. It's kind of a drop in the bucket if you ask me. But you get all the sway bars, and they do actually work. I did the bumper with the Kyosho racing team. It's just a very nice kit, and again, I mean, it's not been run very much. I mean, you can tell. I've just run it around the parking lots and things like that. In addition, I mean, I did go ahead and paint up the Turbo Optima body, and the masking is a little bit cumbersome, as you've probably seen on RC Kicks video. It is a little bit goofy, I would say. But looking at some of this, I will say that it's not that difficult to do and make it look like you're really good at this. So I will say, just be patient. The decals were not that difficult. I would say the Kyosho decals are much easier to apply than most of the older Tamiya decals. Just really nice. A little bit thicker material, I'd say, than most of the Tamiya decals. It's a little bit easier to apply as well. I did actually buy some runner tires, and I did actually buy some runner tires and wheels, just from Amazon. They worked out pretty well. But with that, just some like concerns, I would say. Just be patient with the kit. It is a longer build process. There's a lot involved, a lot of screws. Everything is hex hardware, so not too difficult. But that's my Javelin, and I'll just leave it at that. And hopefully you'll come to my channel and look at some other builds. I probably won't post the actual build process. There's plenty of builds out there. Gavin at RC Kicks and Glenn, and with RC Legends and others. But with that, that's my Javelin. Thanks all.